Welcome to Taste Buds. I'm Debra Eckerling, goal strategist, writer, and foodie. And today I'm speaking with Chef Duff Goldman. Welcome, Duff.
Hi.
I feel so goofy introducing you. Is there anybody who does not know who you are?
There's plenty of people that do not know who I am.
What, in the purposes of our conversation today, do you want people to know about you, who you are?
Well, I'm a chef. I'm a baker. I have a bakery in Baltimore called Charm City Cakes, where we make sort of big, crazy, extravagant cakes. Um, and I've actually just started a toy business called Topanga Woodworks. I make like automatons.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, like this thing.
Oh, that's super cool. So if you're
And it's
listening,
like,
you should just come and watch because there are rabbits
and they like go up and down.
and they go up and down. Well, that makes
Mhm.
sense though, because you build cakes that move.
I build cakes that move, which got me into building toys. Because working with wood, things don't fall apart as much.
Well, and you don't eat the result of your hard work. That's
You
one
don't eat them.
benefit, right?
They're not nearly as delicious as the cakes, but they last a lot longer.
You bake cakes, people know you, they see you on TV, but you've got a new thing you're doing now too.
I do. I just opened a deli. It's called Duff's Deli, and it's in the Atlanta airport.
First of all, why a deli? And second of all, why the airport?
I travel all the time. I travel constantly, it's part of the job, right? I'm in airports a couple times a week. And I can't tell you how many times you're traveling, it's like usually you're working, you're doing stuff, you're going back and forth, you're just trying to keep your life together. And just as somebody who grew up in delis, just the soul centering that happens when you get a nice bowl of chicken soup or a pastrami sandwich or a brisket with tiger sauce on it and a Dr. Brown's black cherry soda, you know. There's just something that uh it's like not the thing you expect to find at an airport, but it's the thing you want in an airport. You want a good deli sandwich, a real deli sandwich, not Delly, because those exist. You're not getting good pastrami from a place that spells it Delly. But just like having like good real deli food at an airport, being able to get something that really, there's people back there cooking food, making it for you, and it just can help you not be in the weird travel dimension. It's like once you sort of go through TSA, you're in like this whole other, it's like you're outside of space and time. You're just sort of part of the system of people moving. And travel can be stressful. And I find that when you have something good and yummy, really helps. It's nice.
So you created the restaurant that you wish existed and now does.
Yes.
And why Atlanta?
It seemed like a great place. It's a very, very busy airport. A lot of people going through there. And I figured, for my first one, this would be a great place to do it because we would get the biggest sample size that we possibly could.
Oh, so you're like testing this idea and then they're going to be like everywhere.
I mean, like the goal, sure, but like right now, the goal is to have a delicious deli in Atlanta. That's the goal. We can get another one, awesome. If we do this one right, that'd be great. But my goal right now is to have a deli that makes delicious food. That when me personally, Duff, is traveling through Atlanta, I know I'm like on my way there. I am already thinking about what I'm going to get.
Well, is that not the best part of any restaurant is the anticipation and knowing your order?
Oh man, when you think like you're going to a place, you're like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna have that calamari that we really like, or oh man, like, but like I got a buddy, Michael Voltaggio, who makes he makes a Dorito, a Cool Ranch Dorito, and it's like huge, it's like this big, and I remember the first time I tasted it, and every time I would go back to his restaurant, in my head, I was like, "I wonder if he's gonna have the Dorito."
Are there Duff cakes at this particular establishment?
I feel like I would be remiss if I did not have cakes. So we have a pretty good deli section or bakery section, and one of the things that we have are cake jars from Charm City Cakes. So my bakery in Baltimore is packing up cake jars and sending them to Atlanta. So when you go there every day, fresh cake jars. And the cool thing about them is they're really solid. So if you're traveling and you're like, oh man, like my kids love that guy. Oh, I could get a jar of cake and bring it to them. That cake was made by my staff in my bakery so they can get a cake that was made by us and bring it home to their family. Be like, hey, that weirdo that you like on TV, he made this cake.
Well, wouldn't they need, like, 2 because they obviously are gonna eat 1 on the way home?
I would imagine. We would, they can munch all you want. We'll make more.
Oh, back to deli food, I forgot to ask the most important deli question, which is, are you team pastrami or team corned beef?
I am firmly team pastrami.
And why is that?
I just love it. I don't know. I don't know why I love pastrami. Ever since I was a little kid. My brother is a corned beef guy. I don't get it. I'm a pastrami guy. I like hot pastrami. I don't know. There's just I like all the good crunchy stuff on the outside. I love pastrami.
There is no wrong answer, although you might think that there was one. I
I
am team
listen.
corned beef.
I love corned beef. There's nothing wrong with corned beef.
Yeah, but if it's a choice, it's pastrami.
If for me, it's gonna be pastrami. But we have so one of the cool things that we do at the restaurant is, my mom makes every Jewish kid says, my mom makes the best brisket in the world, right? My mom truly does make the best brisket in the world. And I can say that because I'm a chef. I am very objective about this. She makes an incredible brisket. She usually makes a big one. There's always leftover. So what I do is I chop it up and I make a chopped barbecue brisket sandwich with it. So also at the deli is my mom's chopped barbecue brisket sandwich.
So I've interviewed you before, and I remember you talking about potentially doing a brisket off with your mom.
Oh, did really? I said that?
Yeah, you did.
Well, I feel like she'd probably win, but there are several things that we make. Chicken soup, for example. I will smoke my mom when it comes to chicken soup. My chicken soup is great. Um, what else? My mom is not much of a baker. There's a couple things that she makes. She makes this really good. She's actually making it this week. She makes a port and cherry jello, and she takes whole cherries and then she roasts walnuts and stuffs them in the cherries and then suspends the cherries all throughout the jello. And she does this like jello mold with walnuts, crunchy, and port and it's so delicious. It's one of my favorite things she makes.
And not actually baking, so not stepping on your baking toes.
Yeah, it's just jello.
Okay, now, Jell-O is still a thing? You don't see that much Jell-O in LA.
Not everybody eats Jello. I love Jello. So we have like our extended family here in California is very multicultural, and a large contingent of our family is Japanese. And Aunt Kelly makes Kelly's jellies, where she basically makes like jigglers, and she does like different colors. Sometimes it's like the creamy, like opaque one with like the clear one underneath it. She'll do different flavors. She makes a good, like really good jello. And there's a lot of like really great Instagram accounts of like food from the 70s. There's a lot of jello.
Now I kind of feel like we should talk about baking because
Okay.
what can people bake? I mean, it's the holiday season. No matter what
Yeah.
a holiday, Hanukkah is coming up really, really soon. But no
Yeah.
matter what a holiday, you want baked goods, right?
You do. You do. It's and the lovely thing about the holidays, it's like for example, like Thanksgiving, I made 4 pies. I made pumpkin, apple, chocolate, and pecan. I made rolls, what are the little milk rolls? I made, cornbread, buttermilk biscuits. I made my great grandmother's Russian tea cakes, my grandmother's housekeeper's peanut butter cookies that are insane. I forget what else, but the holidays there's so much more baking that happens than, other times of the year. It's just there's so much. It's like it's our time to shine. It's cookie season. Everyone's gonna be making a ton of cookies. The cool thing about cookies too is that you can make all your cookie dough whenever you want. You can make your cookie dough in July if you want to. Throw it in the freezer, it's done, ready to go. And then when the holidays happen, you just pull all your dough out and bake it off.
My dough would not last in my freezer that
Doesn't eat it.
long. Well, I would turn it into cookies and then eat it,
Oh, you
right?
went like you're not stumbling home from the club. You're like, "Where's the-"
20 something dead? Yes.
Okay.
Actually, what I love to do is I like to bake them and then I'll put them in the freezer. And that way, when I want a cookie, I dump it in
It's there
something
it
of the
is.
hot coffee and it's perfect.
But if you just freeze the dough, then you can have fresh baked cookies whenever you want. Because
Yes.
cookies only take like 10 minutes.
But what if I don't want to wait 10 minutes?
It's 10 minutes, Deb.
Okay, you're right.
Come on. It's not like it's you know, it's not a beef Wellington. It's, it's a cookie. It's 12 minutes
You
tops.
know, you're absolutely your point taken. What baking tips do you have for the holidays other than make the cookie dough and then put it in the freezer?
um there's a lot. I think, don't get too stressed about, like, making it look totally perfect like it does on, an Instagram that you follow or in the book or the blog or whatever that you're getting it from. Um, if you have the time, it usually behooves you to try to bake it once before you bake it for the big show. So like if you're everyone's coming over for Hanukkah, like if you're gonna make sufganyo, like make them once by yourself, make the mistakes and be like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. That way, when it actually comes time, you're like, cool, I can do this. And plus, like even when they go wrong, they're still delicious. So you'll have a bunch of yummy donuts. So yeah, I would say just like a test run is really good. Um, Also, especially with baking, with the thing I find is that uh don't like look at a recipe be like, oh cool, I'm gonna make this, and then like start at step one with ingredient one and then just kind of go through it. Read the entire recipe, read all the ingredients, make sure that you have everything you need, make sure you got all the equipment you need cookie sheets, parchment paper, whatever it's going to be, because nothing is more frustrating than you're like halfway baking a recipe and you're like, oh, I don't have any lemon juice. Awesome. you know
What is a recipe you would like to share so people can get a taste
Wow.
of
Well,
baking from your mind?
how about we should do my great grandmother's Russian tea cakes. Um, because they're a really special cookie. I make them every year for the holidays. When I was dating my then girlfriend, now wife, she invited me to a family Christmas, right? And that was a big deal because, like, oh, it's getting serious. Like, I'm going to meet your family. And um she said, just so you know, it's a cookie swap. Everybody bakes, and then there's a big cookie swap. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, you know, I know something about baking. And she was like, just so you know, they're pretty serious. And I was like,
Like,
okay.
oh,
Yeah, but the thing is like, I don't know, like you ever go to like a church bake sale?
I do not find myself in church bake sales, but
Okay.
I get the analogy.
The
Okay,
thing
got it.
is like you get like, Betty, right? And Betty makes, her ginger snaps. And that's what Betty makes. And Betty's amazing at them. You're never going to find a better ginger snap than Betty's because this is what Betty does. She does one thing. She makes those ginger snaps and they're amazing. So when you're walking into the lion's den like that, this is what they do every year and they don't change every year. It's the same like they like oh man, like this one makes the Chex Mix and then this one makes like the fudgy chocolate cookie and this it's like you look forward to those things. So I was like I got to bring something because if I show up with anything less than absolute solid gold, they're all going to be like, that dude's on TV for baking. And that's what he brought. I don't know about this guy. So I had to like show up. So I made my grandmother's Russian tea cakes and they're pretty stellar. And people ate them and they were like, okay, he's all right. And so that now I make those every year. People look forward to them. My father-in-law literally eats them like Doritos. Arr, arr. They go down so easy. They're dangerous.
You also kind of sounded like you described the plot of a Hallmark movie. I'm not wrong.
I'd watch it.
I watch it too.
That's funny. And it's like, yeah, the like TV baker guy making these cookies, like sweating bullets.
That's hilarious. And if you go to jewishjournal.com/podcast, you will get to read this article and get the recipe for these amazing Russian tea cakes that
They're
are
really easy. They're super easy to make. You make the dough in the food processor. Um,
easy.
you got to use brown butter. So that's like something that maybe a lot of people haven't done before. Brown butter is really easy. You put the butter in a pot, you turn it on medium low, and you let it cook until the butter starts to turn brown and smell amazing. And then you take that butter and you got to scrape all the brown bits out because that's where the flavor is. You scrape that into a little container, you put it in the fridge, it becomes solid, and then that's the butter you use in the cookies. Um, mine, my great grandmother used pecans in hers, but I use walnuts. So there's that, by the way.
You made it yours. You changed the
I
nut.
made it mine. I did. I
Love
did. Same
that.
like I make my great grandmother's apple strudel. And I there's a couple I've used it, a little bit, right? I made it mine, and I'm sure when my daughter starts making it, she's gonna make it hers, and it's okay.
That's what recipes are for, to elevate, add to, make better.
They're living documents.
And your daughter is how old? She's still
Four
is she
four and a half.
is she
Have you seen my Instagram?
I watched the other day because you were at a Zootopia thing
Oh
and you
yeah.
posted an adorable picture.
She's really cute. Go to my Instagram. I was teaching her how to use a knife. And my wife caught me.
I was gonna ask what your wife had to say about that.
Yeah. She caught me holding her over the stove. And we were making Cheetos. So we were frying rice noodles and tossing them in cheese powder. And so I had a big pot of oil and I'm holding her up like this and she's dropping rice noodles into the oil. And my wife comes downstairs. She's like, what are you doing? Okay. It's funny.
Yeah. She used to it or she's never gonna get used to that.
Still never get used to it. Not when I'm like she came down and I'm literally just filming her while she's chopping a strawberry with a paring knife.
That's hilarious.
It was great.
Yeah. Awesome. Where else can people learn more about you?
Let's see. You could go to duff.com. It's got the bakeries on there. It's got all the TV shows are on there. It's got a link to my YouTube, which is called Duff Stuff, where I cook and I also build things out of wood because I'm basically Geppetto at this point. Um, you can go to Topanga Woodworks is my Etsy shop. There's not much in there right now because I keep selling out of stuff. And I don't know if here's the thing is I make toys and I love it. And I have a little wood shop here at my house and I make toys and I put them on Etsy and I sell them. And they sell really quickly because I mean, they're not cheap, but I'm not like charging insane prices. And the, the only way that I could like keep up is if I hired somebody. And I don't want to hire anybody. I don't want it to be like that kind of business. Like right now, like I go to the lumber store, I pick out all the wood, I design everything, I build everything, I finish it all, I package it, I print the label, I ship it out, the whole thing. It's all me. It's a one man show, and I don't want it to turn into this crazy thing, but it just might because I keep selling out of everything, which is great.
It is great. Well, just shows your joy. I mean, you clearly do all of the things you do because you love them.
Let me show you another one.
Okay.
You're gonna like this one. It's really cute. This is a caterpillar that I made.
Oh my goodness. And I will tell people again, if you are listening, you should go over to, well, it's
Just
at the Dead Magic YouTube or go to the article in Jewish Journal and take a look at this. It's amazing.
so it's like inchworms, and it's got a butterfly.
Of course it does. So what
They're-
came first, the building or the cake?
the cake, definitely the cake. Like I was in high school, I like did some roofing and framing, like easy like construction stuff. And I also used to like I was a metal sculptor, so I was, like pretty good at tools. This is a butterfly that I made. Here, I'll take the jar off so you can see. That's all hand painted, and it's all wood. The hinges for the wings are actually thread. I don't know if you can see it, but then you turn the little thing and he flies.
That's such beautiful craftsmanship.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Yeah, you can kind of see like the back. So there's like these two little things here, and then that's how it goes up and down like that. And then I thought the jar was cute. It's like you went and caught a butterfly.
Yes. I love it. So you have the cakes, you have the cakes that move, and then you have the things that move that aren't cake.
I know. I'm seeing a theme.
I am, and you've got the deli where people can get food in motion.
While they're in motion,
Oh,
they can have it.
motion.
They can stop by. There's a full bar. It's great.
This has been so much fun. Thank you, Duff. What final food for thought or baking for thought would you like to leave people with?
Oh, you know, when we're kids, we think that like there's some point that we hit as adults where we figure it out. And you're like, oh, okay. Like when I'm an adult, there's this thing that happens, and all of a sudden I know stuff and I know what I'm doing. And I gotta, I'm like, I understand life. And now that I'm older, I realize that is bupkis. That is untrue. We're all making this up as we go. And I think that um a lot of times people can feel, people can get down on themselves and get like, anxious and freaked out because they don't have it figured out. And I think once you can kind of accept that you never figure it out, there's never a moment that you figure it out. You just keep learning and finding, deeper levels of understanding. But the more that you learn and the more that you understand, the more that you realize that you don't know squat. And uh and that's okay. I think that that's the thing. It's not that we're all kind of bumbling around and bumping into each other and figuring it out, but it's the fact that like we put this pressure on ourselves that we're like, oh god, you got to figure it out. And it's like nobody has figured it out. Nobody figures it out. Maybe Lao Tzu figured it out, but the rest of us just need to accept that we will never figure it out. And once you accept that you will never figure it out, smooth sailing. Then you're free. You're good. What am I going to do tomorrow? I don't know. I'll figure it out. The day's going to throw something at me and I'll deal with it, and I think that, once we kind of stop like beating ourselves up for not having it together, because nobody does.
When you control nothing, you control everything, I think is
Sure.
right.
Yes.
And you're
Well,
like,
and, speaking of control, right? Like, okay, I live in Topanga Canyon, right? So you've driven up here, have
mhm,
you? Right?
gorgeous.
It's
Yeah.
one road in, one road out, right? Windy little country road. Now, I go down to Ralph's and I get some stuff and I'm driving back up to my house, you know, and uh I'm going behind somebody who's going 15 miles an hour, right? So now I know that like, all right, it is, 3 miles to my street, whatever it is. And I got 3 miles. I'm going to be going 15 miles an hour sitting behind this guy, right? So we're good. I'm going to be in the car for a bit. Now, I am going to get to my house whenever the guy in front of me decides that I'm getting to my house, and there is nothing I can do about it. Nothing. So there is a point in the future I will arrive at my house. It is predetermined. I don't have any control over when that is. What I do have control over, though, is am I going to drive up my windy little road, super mad, gripping the steering wheel, freaking out, yelling, honking the horn? Or am I going to get home? Like, I'm going to listen to some tunes. Maybe I'll call my mom. You know, it's going to take me 20 minutes to get home. And there's two ways that I can do it. It is 100% a choice. It's a choice. You could be mad, blood pressure spiking, just everything's freaked out. Get home. Dang, somebody's driving slow. Or you could get home and be like, man, I just heard a great Parliament tune. It was awesome. Had a great drive. It's beautiful. Sun was setting. It's nice. Right? It's a choice.
You tripped over one of my favorite things to say. So I write books on goal setting. And the whole purpose of the goals is to figure, you can't get what you want unless you know what that is. We all need to do at least some of our life. We all need to have joy in at least some, if not all, of our life. So when you've got the joy you can lean into, it makes everything else better. And
I
that's,
lost mine for a little while.
yeah.
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 I don't I realized I've lost it. And I was like, what the hell, man? And I went and I found it. And it was good. It was good that I did because it changed absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. Change your entire your whole point of view, you know? And that's the thing. When people lose their joy, a lot of times you got to help people like understand, like, hey, you know what? You need to go find it because it's missing. And it's really, I don't know. the only thing that we're really here to do, right? Why? We're not here for a long time, you know? So enjoy it. Have joy. Have cookies, right? Have delicious sandwiches, listen to music, hang out with your friends, call your mom, do all those things, you know, 'cause, you know, all nothing's permanent, you know, and so you might as well enjoy while you're here and spread it around and give it to other people. Like it's not joy is not money. It's not something to be hoarded, right? You spread it around and it's never ending, you know, when you realize that there's I can give away 400 pounds of joy, I still have the same amount.
My favorite book growing up was called A Warm Fuzzy Tale, and it was that message. You always get more. So why wouldn't you bring that kindness, that love into the world?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. What's it called again? I'm gonna get it.
It's called A Warm Fuzzy Tale. The whole message of the book is that love is abundant, and we're living in crazy times. Yes, I speak in understatements, but if you go through your day, okay, I can, this is gonna make me happy. It's gonna up my vibration. It's gonna make everything around me a little bit better.
Yeah.
Then that's the different. If the only thing I could do today is be happy, I'm gonna do it because it's gonna make a difference in someone's life in addition to probably mine.
You know, speaking of airports,
Yeah.
what the other thing I do is when I go to the airport, I take a second and I put on like my airport armor. And my airport armor is like ridiculous goofiness. And I talk to everybody. I joke around with TSA. I talk to the people selling the tickets. I talk to everybody and I make them jokes and you goof around, just kind of be silly. Because man, you go in the airport, everybody's just sort of, you know, doing their thing. And uh, when you go into the airport like that, just completely goofball, it spreads and everybody around you is infected by it. And they can't bring you down because they're like, oh man, this is great. You're bringing everybody up. You're like, hey, I know you're going to some silly conference in Duluth, and I know it's probably not a lot of fun, but you know what? Make it fun. You know, I'm sure there's going to be something in Duluth that's going to be great. Go get a sandwich. Go get a Juicy Lucy, whatever.
Well, I'm glad you found your joy.
Me too. Thank you.
And I love so in everything you create, it's also to inspire joy. So I also see that theme there.
I try. I try. I mean, like all this stuff started with my daughter. When she was born or before she was born, when my wife was pregnant, I started making her a set of blocks, you know, like letter blocks. And it turned into this ginormous project, took 2 years. She didn't get it till she turned 2. Um, and it's pretty great. It's a masterpiece. But I was like, "This was so much fun. I love this." And so I started building other stuff. I made her a clock. I made her this really cool clock that's a fish. It's a little heavy.
Oh my goodness. That's
And each one of these
spectacular.
is a it's a dowel that's wrapped in maple veneer, and then you slice it just like a salami, and then they're all kind of, you know, cut out, and they all fit into each other. It's a fish. And, like, it's cool, like, the wood is this stuff called bubinga, and I found, like, a wood that had this really cool grain that kind of worked with, the fish, you know, so it kinda got that, like you could sort of see those lines. And, like, I don't it just came out of nowhere. I literally just started building things. And I was like, "This is so much fun." And then I eventually built like a whole shop, and then I started a store, and you know, now I'm selling things. Like it's great. Like it's really really fun.
and you just never know where your joy can take you.
You don't.
Thank you so much, Duff. It was such a joy to spend time with you today. I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning into Taste Buds with Deb. Don't miss an episode. You can subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, and or your favorite podcast platform. And if you go to jewishjournal.com/podcast, you can read the articles and get the recipes that go with each episode. Yes, this was a food show. And you can learn more at tastebudswithdeb.com. Until next time, find your joy, bake, eat, and all the things, and bon appetit.